Hi everybody. I've had a lot of requests on how I actually run my cables on my setup to allow for that really clean look. So I'm going to do, since it's a really nice day and I just came off a gig last night, is actually show each piece of equipment, the modifications that I've made, and how I actually achieve this. Okay, so this is a typical Odyssey stand. It's a folding stand that I've made one modification for, and you'll see this porthole. It's inch and a half. One thing you do want to be careful of, though, is, and I'll show you, is this is very brittle fiberboard that we use. So when I did the drilling, it actually split some of this. So be careful when you're actually modifying this. But with that, it allows me to pass through the cables all the way to the bottom. Alright, so the next thing that I've used is just a standard piece of board. Actually, I have four of these. I have two identical cuts in width for my Denon SC3900s, and I also have them for my turntables as well. And what I've done is the same porthole that I have in the Odyssey stand, I've also put in here. The paint, as you see, it does get worn off over time, but this is the typical speaker covering paint, and I just need to put a new coat on it. This has seen a bit of use, so it's actually held up pretty well. But this, again, saves so much time and effort to run your cables. Alright, so the next thing I've done is the standard Flight Zone 10-inch mixer case. I've actually set it up to where I actually have a stand built into this. This is, I think it's called the AdTech laptop stand. I've actually put in a power strip into here. So I just expand my stand out slowly but surely. I actually move it out of the way a little bit. I put a piece of foam in here as well to rest on this so this never hits the mixer. As you notice, I've also put in my power, my USB cord through this. There's actually channels in here to help tidy that up. So this might be a little hard to see, but I actually have a porthole in the case, both on this part and also on the sides. So first, this allows me to take the power cord and just feed it down. Now I do wish that I could find a slightly better power strip. This one allows the hidden power on and off switch. So, keeps it out of the way. It's not perfect, but definitely fits the case nice and snug. As you see, the power cord just goes right down. It really keeps everything else still clean in here. A note on this is, the Rane 62 mixer. This fits very nicely in here with the stand. If you went with something like the Pioneer S9, it is definitely a bit wider, and this would not fit in here perfectly. So you would actually need to go to the next generation 10-inch mixer case that Odyssey has put out for that to be able to fit in. Again, I like having this integrated stand. It's a very nice piece. It kind of keeps things nice and tidy, but there it is. So there is an improvement I would like to personally make on this, is to actually add a PowerCon connector to this cable. It keeps everything still cleaned up top, but to be able to hook it into my lower part of the system that you'll see in a minute, it'd be a lot nicer, but for now this works. But that is an improvement I am going to make on the future. So as you can see, I've now added a Denon SC3900 deck. I've created a porthole in this as well. There's a porthole already in the Rane mixer case, and I just simply feed through the cables. I found out that over time I really never used the USB control for MIDI on the deck itself. There was just not enough logical design in the case itself, but I hook everything in, and that is it. I put my top on to keep things covered. One thing I failed to mention about the Rane mixer in the case is the AdTech stand actually does block the mic port. Now, if you're using the control on the mic port, you're going to have to relocate this somewhere else in the case. You can probably kind of put it in the middle without it really affecting much. I use a digital mixer in the chain that I just don't need to use this part, but just make note of that in the design with this stand that this does block it. So up next we have this SKB 6U Roto case. Houses my Soundcraft UI16, the Sennheiser IEM 300 for transmitting to my remote speakers, and also a Sennheiser G3 microphone as well. In addition, I have a Trip Lite. Both has front and back side power inputs, and this is actually where I'm going to be plugging in the subwoofers, any other ancillary stuff on front. And in the back, even though it's a little bit of a mess, I actually have a router in here to give me increased range. Unfortunately, I had to kind of pigtail a couple of the Sennheiser power units just so they would fit in. I also plug in my mixer power strip into the back of this, so it chains into here. I've also put in and shortened up a cable, and this is a PowerCon cable, so this keeps things nice and easy to hook up to the external power source. Alright, and from behind, as you can see, I've actually routed my power down through. It's hooked into the back of the power strip. This is where I noted before that having a PowerCon connector to marry this up would be a really nice addition. I haven't done that yet, but that will be coming. But this now allows me to fit in the case pretty much dead center, lots of weight inside, and now I can add the additional things to hook everything up. Alright, so some time ago I actually had Ben Stowe from NLFX create me some custom cables. I've actually found this $15 Cord Pro XL on Amazon to tuck those cables in. I've got my subwoofer, I've got my power strip, and I have my inputs, and all I'm going to simply do is feed out the stuff. So in this case, here's my two power pieces. I've separated out the subs and the tops just to have that. If necessary, I can unplug the subs if there's a power issue. I also have my standard XLR that'll feed in through here. For the bottoms, kind of split them up. I've got my XLR in and out, and also my power. Simply plug it in. Those will go to my tops. Just need to unwind the amount of length you need. Suck what you don't need in. And voila, you already have half of the bottom and the connection to the mixer. Alright, so up next we have my Yamaha DXR8 top cab. If you didn't notice below, the sub was a Yamaha DXS12. Simply plug in. Notice I made, or I should say I had NLFX make the cable to the input just a little bit longer so it fit nicely. I wish I did have them do a right angle. My bad on that. If I ever make a next generation cable, I have them do that. This is all on a stand that I can just very easily adjust height, lock it in. That's it. Ultimately, I would tuck in the cable with my Velcro straps just to keep everything nice and tidy. So there you have it, a really clean top setup. All the cables are nicely hidden. Subwoofer again in tops. Strap the cables in, keeps everything nice and well hidden. Allows you to kind of have this kind of what I call the exposed effect. You don't need a facade in front of anything. Naturally, this is covering the major mechanicals, but I still try to keep everything tidy back here as well as you see. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the video.